love, you're listening to the Died on Ashanta podcast. I'm a resilience strategist and migrant integration specialist who has spent the last 20 years traveling, working, and studying throughout the Caribbean, North America, Europe, Africa, and Asia. As a globetrotter, I quickly learned how to bounce back from crisis and how to thrive in new and strange places. I've used my training and experience to develop a resilience-based framework, and now I help others to get over the hurdles that come with living in a foreign country. Now on this podcast, I invite you to join me on this journey of living with simplicity, joy, and resiliency. From green smoothies to goal setting, we'll cover it all. We'll talk about all the things that help us to thrive through the storm. Welcome to the Died on Ashanta podcast. This is episode 29, and we are talking about soaking away sorrows. So, of course, this week we are focusing on how to restore and cultivate our physical resilience. And for anyone who may have missed it in the previous episodes, I'd just like to remind you that resilience is built through restorative habits, and it is something that you cultivate on a consistent basis. It's not something you're born with. It's not something that you can go to a workshop and just acquire through a few activities or acquiring certain knowledge. This is a way of being. And so I'm going to be talking about a restorative habit that truly helps to cultivate and restore, replenish your physical resilience in a very simple way that definitely improves and increases your joy. Now, something that almost all of us have had to deal with are aches and pains. And I'm not talking about the kind of aches and pains that come through physical injury, like you banged your leg on a table, or because of exhaustion. You've been working hard all day, or you ran a marathon or something and you're sore. No, not those kinds of physical aches and pains. These are the physical aches and pains that you probably wake up with them, or you've just been going through a rough period and for some reason you have a sore neck, maybe your lower back is all tight, and usually these are symptoms our body shows us that the challenges, maybe offenses, and any kind of discomfort that we experience emotionally and mentally, even spiritually, is impacting our bodies in a real, tangible way. So all of these, you'd say, invisible stresses are causing our muscles to really tense up. Think of you having a problem, you get somewhere, you're trying to do a transaction and it's not working out, or it's taking long and you're probably anxious about getting somewhere on time. And all of this just causes your entire body to tense up. Or what about if you have to work along with someone that gets you very frustrated? Maybe they are slacking off, or they are not pulling their weight, doing their part of the job, and you just really, really can't cope with the individual, and you're holding back the words of telling them your mind. And this kind of muscle tension over a long duration, imagine you're going through this a couple hours a day over an extended period of time, especially if it's a repeated kind of challenge that you're faced with, a repeated environment of discomfort that you have to deal with. This kind of muscular tension is definitely going to result in pain. And sometimes you may be amazed that tense muscles can have the impact of even shifting your bones. And if you have encountered anyone who probably has had a disc slip or a curvature in the spine, these are some of the things that over an extended period, built up tension in your muscles can affect you that way. So now that we kind of have a context for how your sorrows can show up in your body in the forms of aches and pains, then I'm going to invite you to practice being kind, extending kindness to yourself as a way of replenishing that kind of strength you need to continue through whatever journey you are on in this stage of your life. There is a proverb from Mozambique which says, kindness is the best remedy for suffering. Now, when you hear a proverb like that, your brain probably automatically thinks of people that you want to extend kindness to while they are suffering. But how about yourself? If you are yourself suffering, then you have severely restricted your capacity to help others. So today I want you to look in the mirror and recognize any area of suffering that you are dealing with that needs to be soaked away. And so extend that kindness to yourself. Dr. Caroline Leaf, in her book 101 Ways to Be Less Stressed, she shares simple self-care strategies that can boost your mind, your mood, and your mental health. And of course, she speaks about a lot of physical practices, restorative practices that we can cultivate. And one of them is soaking in a warm bath or allowing the warm water of the shower to beat on your muscles. And you probably already know how soothing it is to have that hot water beating down on your back or on your neck, on your legs, wherever it is. And even more so, sitting in a warm tub and soaking for a few minutes. And if you probably say, well, I'm not a big fan of taking baths, I like to hop into the shower, get my stuff done, and hop out. I have been exposed. I mean, in Jamaica, we tend to go to, say, for example, the hot spring for recreational purposes and sometimes, restorative or therapeutic purposes. So your granny probably has a sore muscle and you take her to the hot spring. She soaks in there and she probably gets a massage from one of the guys that's at the bath or the hot spring. But while in Japan, I was exposed to a kind of soaking culture, I would call it, because they would have these public baths, they call them sentos, and basically you go in, you shower, and then you have these kind of humongous hot tubs, like pool-sized hot tubs that everyone just sits and soaks in for some time before they head off to bed. And then there are onsens, which these tend to be natural hot springs that have built around kind of a spa kind of environment, and droves of people would just go in simply for the purpose of sitting and soaking their sorrows and stresses away. But this is not just a public practice that you go with your family or friends or co-workers. Even within the natural design of the homes, every Japanese home has in the bath area what is called an ofuro, and the style of their bathtub is very different from ours. They do not actually shower in the tub like many Westerners do. They shower in a flat area that is alongside the tub, and then the tub just has just enough size for you to kind of sit almost with your knees a little bit raised, soaking after you've had a shower. And this is the kind of bedtime routine many Japanese people have practiced over many years. So they sit in the tub and they soak after they have showered. And so if you want to try adding this to your routine, maybe not a daily thing like someone in Japan, but grab a package of Epsom salts and see if you can incorporate this as a way of bringing relaxation and stress relief to your daily maybe prep time for bed, or maybe on the weekend when you think you can really just put things off your mind and rest. Think about it. You toss in your Epsom salts in the warm water, you sit and soak for at least 20 minutes, could be more. And if you are really intentional and you can get this done, say 3 times a week, and keep this going for the next 2 to 4 weeks, it would definitely make a big difference in how you manage the daily challenges and discomforts that you face that mentally cause a strain to impact your body's tension and ability to relax and just let go of the stress. So whether you want to soak your whole body or you want to just do the feet, both work. So try it out. Let me know how you feel about soaking your sorrows away, using whether it's a foot bath or putting your whole body in the tub. Maybe you will go visit a hot spring nearby where you live. Let me know, how is it that you have been or plan to start soaking your sorrows away. Thanks so much for listening, love. If you enjoyed this episode, head over to didanashanta.com. I'd love to hear your thoughts on today's message. Be sure to drop your email address so I can send you some helpful resources, updates, and the occasional music video that I may have on repeat. Make sure you subscribe and spread the love with someone you care about.